Move this stuff, please, ma'am. Hello.
We ready?
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast.
Cosmic Ocean.
Cosmic Ocean. I'm Nayeli.
And I'm Fatima.
And you can follow me at the Nay_area on all platforms.
And you can follow me on Hija del Maíz ZE on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we start, you know the drill. Here in the United States, we are on stolen land, and in Colorado, we are on the unceded land of the Cheyenne and Arapaho peoples, amongst many other peoples.
I had an energy drink before this, and I'm all...
Oh!
So I feel all... I shouldn't have had it.
Yeah.
Got me all...
Yeah, no, I believe you. So on this episode, we wanted to talk about what it was like to heal if you were the toxic one. And I know you did mention that we've talked about it, how you went to therapy and they told you, well, you're not the victim.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like in my case, there was like relationships and situations where it was more than just like you're not the victim because you allowed it and you gave them that power, but also you're toxic.
Right.
Like I was doing some crazy shit even though I knew that I shouldn't. And when I think about it and I'm in those spaces, it's just having such an unregulated nervous system.
Right. And I feel like going back to that point before you start, it's like I don't think we really have addressed the toxic part, right? We addressed the victim side, we addressed the victim of narcissistic abuse, but we've never actually gone into the actual toxicity of the being toxic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of the abuser or whatever.
And it and I know it sounds terrible, the abuser, but the perpetrator, or even
the enabler.
Yeah. The codependency of the codependents. That was a good one. Okay.
So, I feel like before this other relationship, I don't know, all my relationships were like weird, very weird.
You feel like you've been very toxic your whole life?
I was pretty toxic. Yeah, hell yeah. I was very toxic.
I remember telling one of your little boyfriends, be like, don't let her always just walk all over you.
I was that bad?
Yeah.
I thought I was really good to that one.
Oh, really?
No, I was really fucked up. And at one point, I felt like that the latest one or the most recent one or whatever, or the one that I'm always talking about, is like, that was my karma. Or I met my match.
Or like, karma's a bitch.
Yeah. But I mean, again, I go back to every single relationship was different.
I don't know if we had this conversation or maybe I just thought about it. That I was like, oh my God, you're just like your dad. Did we have a conversation?
I don't think so.
Okay. But at one point I realized that I was like, oh damn, she's just like her dad.
Why? At what point?
You were little.
Don't be shy. I know. Isn't that so fucked up?
I know. It's not. I'm not.
And
shy.
When we say little, we're talking about high school,
8th grade, 9th grade.
You're talking about 8th grade. That's when like.
Well, I just remember even in 3rd grade how you were so mean. You were such a bully.
3rd grade?
3rd grade.
Why 3rd grade?
I just remember in 3rd grade, I was like, oh, damn. I didn't think you're just like your dad in 3rd grade. This was till you were like in middle school. But then in 3rd grade, I was like, oh my gosh, he's so mean. Because you were just so mean to the little kids.
But like, give me examples. I want to know.
I don't remember. I just remember being like, oh my gosh, she's so mean.
But I
don't remember.
It's fine. In the Choose Wisely podcast, we talk about how I was that person that was like very worried about my outside rather than my inside.
Right.
And that I literally had no idea that there was things that I had to work through and that I, so.
But it made sense. 3rd grade made sense because we had just moved. It was a new school. I think we had just gone back together again. So it was like all these new things. So then with you had to develop this little, reputation. So I think that was totally your armor. And then I think it was when you were just like playing around with all these little boys and torturing them in the sense of like you're mean to them. You're mean. So then I remember, I think.
Wait, pause. I want to add that I was about to tell you I was the one that was being bullied. So look at how when I was the one that was the bully, I still had this victim mentality of no, but they were going after me.
Right.
Yes, I was young, but that shit carries.
But then it's crazy because then in 8th grade there was, oh my god, that girl that was bullying you and then bullied you through all high school.
8th grade or high school?
It started in 8th grade.
Oh my god.
We were in the freaking office 24/7. So then at that point it was like, I think it wasn't necessarily that she bullied you that much, but you no te dejabas. Mm-hmm. No te dejabas, and that mom was just like me. So, oh my god, that was hell. But at that point, I think I was totally blaming her. I don't know how bad you were.
Well, then now we bring it up that I was pretty bad.
Damn.
But it's so hard to sit there and think about. Okay, well, I have like memories of when I was fucked up, but I don't have. So I was just.
But it all comes back to, oh my god, you had so much fucking trauma.
Yeah.
Right? So
I did not. Trauma. And then we go to my emotional. I was constantly seeking external validation.
Constantly.
I was people pleasing. You know, those go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. I had no idea who I was. I was really little. I was very unstable. I didn't have a stable foundation at home. Right. We were constantly moving. It was an emotional roller coaster all the time.
So I think we finally were stable. We stabilized a little finally when we bought the house, which was in 2015. And so you were how old?
15.
Perdón. What year was it? 2015. So you were what?
Sophomore.
So oh my god, so you only had like 2 years of stability? Sophomore and junior year?
And even then at that point it's too late.
Right.
Well, actually it's very interesting because children develop their sense of identity the ages of 12 and
not even okay, sorry, their identity, but you develop who you are and stuff up until you're 7. So from 0 to 7, all that trauma and all that stuff you're already kind of made, right? And then from 7 to 14, whatever you learn, blah blah blah, by 15 to 18 is when you develop your sense of self, right? And so that's why I'm like, for me, that's why I never developed my sense of self till I was older, because at 15, that's when I started dating your dad. So then, but going back to you, I thank God I had a little bit more stability. I had my parents, I had all this stuff, but then now I'm realizing too, as I get older and I find things out, I was like, God damn, I had super, super unstable too, right? We'll go back to mine.
No, you can keep going.
Okay. So then like when I was born, it was super traumatic, right? I was in the hospital for months. And so then they pretty much told my mom I was going to die. So then imagine that so I never had that connection with my mom. And then we moved to the U.S. when I was 1. And then my sister was born when I was 2. And that when my sister was born, my dad was like in a wheelchair and couldn't work. So my mom had to go back literally like a day or two after having, let's say 2 days after she had my sister to go back to work because she was sustaining us financially. So then imagine all that. By the time I was 2, me and my sister and just all this stuff. And at this point, my dad's an alcoholic. And so he was drinking up until I was probably 10. So then I grew up with all of that, and I never understood that root trauma. But now it's like, God damn. So see, from 0 to 7 too. But I always thought that, oh my God, I had the perfect childhood. Why am I so messed up? So now just realizing and vocalizing.
Which didn't help you.
Right, it didn't help. Because at least with you now, we're acknowledging everything that happened, right? And I think that helps you heal. And I think this has been coming up the last couple of weeks about how it wasn't, this is why you had so much stuff and this is why you need to heal all that stuff.
Yeah.
And even just like recently I found some stuff out, like just the circumstances of my birth too, right, were really rough. So then I'm just like, God damn, well, thank you God and Creator and Goddess, Mother Earth, everybody for letting me be here.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my God, there's so many things I wanted to touch on, but one of them really quickly is I think it's really interesting listening or connecting with your ancestors and then telling you things about your family or your own life that you're like, but that's not the narrative that has been given to me or whatever that I've heard my entire life. And you had that with your mom. And I had that with Grampy, that they were like, this is not who he is. And when they showed me, it was like, no, that's not.
No, you guys are lying. That's not
with
true.
my head.
Oh my
Hardcore.
And seeing he's your grandpa, imagine me as my dad.
I know. And then not even that. Imagine you.
Have someone your dad. Well, no, I'm kind of sick, you know.
Okay. For you, I think it's so much more intense. Because it's about you. It's about your childhood, you know?
And see, with you, at least you know who we were. Well, me, I think I didn't even know who I was, but at least you knew who your dad was, right? But me, I was always like, no, but I was a perfect parent. So I think until recently I realized, God damn, I was there. You were fed, you were clothed. But there was no emotional support, or I wasn't there emotionally. Because, like, even when we talk about it, I don't remember a lot of things, right? And then that's my what is it? My disassociation and my
compartmentalizing.
And I do that very well.
Remember how you're like, I think I compartmentalize, and I was like, I don't know what that is.
What'd you do?
I don't know if it's something that I did, but I had this moment of. Remember when I tell you when I used to have really hardcore confrontations, like I would black out.
You would disassociate for sure,
and I wouldn't remember anything. Like, I remember, I can't tell you what happened.
Oh my God, that's so true.
Would that
so
be
that's more disassociation.
Okay,
so then what happens is you leave, and the trauma, whatever, the strong part comes in and takes over, and then you come back when it's all.
Because I remember, I was just thinking about it at work. I was just thinking about it over here in the garage. Thinking about what happened at work, but there was something else I saw. I also saw this picture, which I'm a visual person, that was like compartmentalizing, and it was like a woman with drawers in her body.
And so what that is like, okay, this situation doesn't work for me, so I'm going to put that away. I'm going to act like that never happened.
Yes. So that, and then I was also reading about how that. I feel like at a certain extent, people who suppress compartmentalize. I feel like maybe you have to, because I was reading that. I think you should really read it because it's really good. It's not giving us anything new, but it's really, really good. The yoga book, Restorative Yoga.
Oh, okay.
But it's talking about how when we experience trauma and we don't want to deal with it, we suppress it, whatever, right? But it just sinks back into our body until, and it's like for ages and ages and ages. And then it's the whole generational trauma. At one point, the trauma loses its context. You don't even know why the fuck you're angry when someone says stand up or something like that, something little. Or with their tone of voice. Someone's tone of voice will set you the fuck off. Like, for example, let me tell you. So this is too, like, I was hella toxic going back to my nervous system was super unregulated.
Right, growing up with us.
Yes, because I was a norm. And whenever...
The constant walking around on eggshells, just like with your dad, and then with me that you couldn't talk to me, and me, my constant... I was super fragile. I didn't realize how fragile my emotional state was, right? That I couldn't even... I don't know.
Hold space for anything.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing. So you have to deal with all that, okay?
Yeah, so that being said, if anybody would piss me the fuck off, and then that already telling you I had no patience. No patience. None. So if somebody pissed me off, I would fucking either cuss them out, be super, super mean to them, shut down, isolate myself, one of the many different ways.
And you would do that since when? Like always?
Always.
Because I remember you for sure doing that, like... Not when you were little, and you wouldn't be that bad with us, but I noticed it in third grade.
Okay. Yeah. Oh no, it was super bad. And okay, so I would get triggered really, really easily. I was in meditation. I got out of meditation. You had sent. Okay, I got into meditation. My dad called me, got me out of it, and I was like,
oh shit.
Try to go back into it, and nothing too bad. I was like, okay, but a little bit of like, ugh. Yeah. And then you called and you were bitching about.
I sent the voice note bitching about the water bill.
Yeah, which I was like, okay, that's fine. But my heart started racing, and I started getting upset. And then you called me. And I was like, okay. And then I answered, and then I was like, okay, I'm getting upset. And so then I was like, is that all? Because I do not have the capacity for this. And you were like, that's it, bye.
Right.
She was like, okay.
That's it.
And then because you were just reiterating what you had already
said.
Right,
but then I felt, and I felt like I had come
meaningless.
off very strongly, and I was like, Fatima, you didn't have to react that bad, so that's why I was calling you.
But,
okay, you fixed it, okay.
So then I hung up, and then I was like, okay, well, now I'm up. Like, now I'm out. I had to come back. So then I started, grounding myself, journaling, and then I was like, oh, I got triggered when my mom said, you have to go do this. Because it was like, and you know me with my agency.
I know, and I felt her the moment I was like, she heard it, I was like, fuck. I felt it, I was like, fuck. Because I was like, the toilet's leaking, and my water bill went up, this is freaking ridiculous, blah, 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 you need to fix it, so go to Home Depot and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I was just pissed. I was like, because the one day I woke up at 2 a.m. and I was over there. Because it was just leaking, right?
Sleepwalking.
Yeah, sleepwalking, and then doing that, and then cycling the fucking litter.
So, because you act like they know what's going on. So she woke up at 2 a.m. because the sound of the toilet not constantly running because rubber thing was lifted, so the water was
in
running.
The toilet bowl.
In the toilet. So she got up because the noise was too loud.
And I'm on the third floor.
Third. Two. What?
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's like half steps, okay? It's not even like a full
floor. And then it's like 8 steps down to the main floor, and then 8 steps down to the 7. Oh, split level. So then I went down to the 3rd floor, 1, 2, 3, and on the 3rd one I can hear it.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I can hear the fan running in the bathroom too, and it bothers me. It's just weird.
She's just like anal about shit like that.
Yeah, I just get like, and then it like bothers me, right?
A trigger.
Triggers. I don't know why. Huh? What is that?
My cat when she meows at my door.
See?
I get so mad, like I black out.
Oh my god! And then when you get,
and then I come back and I'm like, what did I do? I'm so mean.
It's the nervous system.
oh my god! And then you get so mad. But you know what? With you're not used to expressing your emotions because you were always shut down when you were little. So for you to express them, you just have to start expressing them.
Yeah.
So it's okay to get mad.
It is okay to get mad, but did they lose its context? What else triggered it? You know what I mean? Or even then, it's like something that I would always do was, since I was a hardcore suppressor during sports. This makes me cringe.
Oh my god!
Don't you remember?
I'm glad I put you in sports.
No, Mom. Don't you remember that whenever I'd fall or something, or someone would piss me off, I would be like, I would break the fuck down.
It was so funny. And then she would like pass out, be crying on the floor. I would run down from the
carry me out.
And then I would run and take her to the huesero. And then finally,
it was fine. It was
and then finally the huesero was like, "What did you tell you? Need to stop bringing her. It's all emotional."
He said that?
Yeah, and you were pissed.
I don't remember.
So pissed.
Interesting, but I don't remember that.
Yeah, he was like, "Está todo en su cabeza, ya no la traiga." I was like, and you were pissed. And yeah, you never got her.
You should have thrown my ass into therapy. That's what you should have done.
I should have.
But it's okay.
But then it was so funny because I was like, what?
What is that? What does that mean?
What do you mean a toy for her? Like, I think until later I realized, I was like, oh, dang.
This is crazy. Yeah.
But then after it was so funny. You'd be all hurt and I'd be like, Nayeli, no. And you just get up and...
Yeah, that's true.
Like, after that, you stop doing that part.
Yeah, but I mean, then it was just like, I don't know.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I was really toxic. I was really crazy. I was really crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah. I remember. But I fed off of that shit. I remember too at school. That's why I'm like, that's kind of fucked up.
So then, going back to my point. So then maybe your little bully wasn't really your bully?
Yeah. You see the same thing about you.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry to that man. I don't know who that is. But like, I said some fucked up shit. I said some fucked up shit.
To
them.
Damn.
And then like in middle school, in front of everybody. Like, I didn't give a fuck. I'd be in the middle of class talking shit. Mom, it was horrible. It was horrible.
And she wouldn't get in trouble. The other girl got in trouble.
And then I would go to the office and be like, I don't know why this is happening. What the fuck is going on? Yeah. And then when she started matching my energy, it was like...
Oh, that's when you were like, what the...
Then I'd fall into victim hardcore.
Yeah.
But it was like, I don't know. And I think after that, after high school, I think, yeah, like, neta, I was like, other people to harass. She was like, bottom of the list.
Oh,
honestly.
my God.
No, seriously. But I'm telling you, I would be fed off that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because there was so much drama with you. It was so much fucking drama always.
And because that was my home life, it was very normal to me. So if I didn't have it, I was like, who's next?
Well, I remember at one point when everything was good, we were good, you were already gone. Lola would watch that show with the crazy lady.
Dance Mom.
Dance Mom, because she would love the drama.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy? Because we didn't have any drama.
Didn't have it.
You don't have any drama.
Yeah.
And so she would still crave that drama.
Yeah.
And they didn't get as much drama as you. Like, man, the little ones still got a lot of drama, but they didn't get as bad as you guys.
Who's you guys?
Yes.
Me and all
you,
my
yourself, and I.
personalities?
Yeah.
No, dead ass. That's for real.
Realizing,
That's
man, that one in high school, was toxic.
She was. And like, yes, I laugh about it and stuff, but that's like for real. That was serious. You know, that's not funny. And,
But I guess behind every bully is a really sad, scared child.
Ooh, yeah.
There's so much trauma.
Isn't that like the first thing you learn? Like, in every movie, the bully's the most traumatized.
But it's so crazy because I didn't realize, right? I knew, but I didn't know.
Me neither.
No, you didn't. Mm-hmm. I remember, oh my God, going in there and like fighting. Well, not even have to fight with the principal, just going in there.
And then again, like, yes, I was bad, but you know, everything had something swinging back at me. So,
oh yeah,
you know, nobody was truly. I left like the good people alone. You know,
you did. It was just this one that matched your energy, and you guys would just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
And we were the same.
And fed off of each other. Exactly.
We were the same. Exactly. Because at one point we were friends and we bonded because of the same trauma.
Yeah. The same.
The same. Trauma.
The same.
Yeah.
Everything was the same.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yes, I was a toxic one. Oh yeah, there was something I was going to tell you. So you know how you were going back to the names? Not the names, sorry. I'm going to go back to the names. But you brought up how you were born. I love your story. You always talk about it. I mean, with us. Mm-hmm. How you were born and it was just so insane.
Such a miracle.
A miracle. But you were named after Our Lady of Fatima. Mm-hmm. And I was reading in... I think it was I Sat by the River and Wept. I think it was that book that they talk about how Our Lady of Fatima presented herself to... Saint Bernadette, and Bernadette was like, "Who are you?"
Oh, Saint Bernadette!
Saint Bernadette! Oh, Bernadette!
So backstory, you know, we grew up Catholic. The kids would always like have to pick a saint when they did like their first communion and their confirmation. So the other day, the girls were making fun of Lola because she had Saint Bernadette, and they were just like, "Who's Saint Bernadette?"
Well, I think it was more about like the basicness,
right? Because these other two picked these warrior saint women, and this one picked Saint Bernadette.
But like Saint Bernadette because she's just very well known, very mainstream, but very like
right. But they were just being mean. That's why we're laughing. And the connection with Saint Bernadette and Fatima.
Yeah. Okay, it gets crazy. Are you ready?
Ready.
So then Our Lady of Fatima, Bernadette was like, "Who are you?" And Our Lady of Fatima said, "God." And so then Bernadette went back, and I don't know how for real this is because again, I mean, it's Pablo Coelho, right?
Pablo Coelho.
So I believe anything that man says, okay?
Yeah.
But then she went and told the Pope or the priest or whatever, and the priest was like, "That's not real because it's a woman."
Right.
Okay. Whatever. They ended up obviously canonizing Saint Bernadette. Is that how you say it? Canonizing. And then Our Lady of Fatima. But that was very like the first time something like that happened. Whatever. So I thought that was very beautiful symbolism or like miracles or story behind your name. It being the first female version of God. So then I'm like, damn, my mom, that's a beautiful name for my mother, you know, because you look at all you're doing. So then I was reading the book, the fucking book that I've been reading. I want to get it over with, honestly. The alchemy book. And they're talking about this other book called Aurora Consurgence. And it's, I don't know what it's about yet. That book.
Is it the aurora lights and like all the lights at night? The stars?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But they're talking about right now how the first 5 chapters of that book, and I thought, oh my god, Aurora Consurgence, Rising Dawn, how beautiful. And it's a very important book when it comes to alchemy, at least in this woman's eyes. And so then she talks about how the first 5 chapters are about the wisdom of God, and how it's a story about a saint who hears or is like looking into other books, other ancient scribes or whatever, about the wisdom of God being personified as a woman, and her name is Sophia. So there's 5 chapters about how God's spirit, God's consciousness, God's idea is Sophia. And how Sophia is literally the moment God said, I want to become, is Adam. Sophia is Adam. You know how we always talk about, okay, we're God. We are gods living a human experience. That was Sophia's idea. That's Sophia. So 5 chapters talking about that, about Sophia in Aurora Consurgence, like.
And I'm Fatima.
And you're Fatima. Like, what?
And I have Aurora and Sophia.
And then I was like, my name means I love. So love being the foundation of everything.
Yes.
But I was like, damn, these names. And then Lola was like, and then there's Jesus. Like, our names are so beautiful.
Oh my god, isn't that so beautiful?
And I love the symbolism.
Damn, and then Sophia is also wisdom. Well, then that makes sense, see, the wisdom. And Sophia comes from my...
No, I finally understood what you were saying, but I didn't know what you meant. Because Filosofia.
Yeah.
That's what you meant. Yeah.
And then it's from my mom's side. So it's from my maternal side.
Oh my god, Sophia!
Yeah.
Stop playing.
Yeah, so then it also makes sense because you know how my grandma Sophia went through so much. Her dad was killed. Her husband was killed, and she was left with 8 little kids, and so she became this luchona, this warrior woman who had to like raise her kids by herself back in the 20s. Warrior, everything she had to surpass and all the stuff she had to go through, and then it's her name.
Yeah.
And her.
I know. I know.
I was like, god damn. Because she's like that. She's so like that.
Yeah.
Pa todo pelea, pa todo. And they said that she had a really, really strong character, personality. But then obviously after what she went through, she had to be even stronger and really resilient. So it's fitting.
It is. It's so beautiful. I was just so like in awe of like the little synchronicities. Damn. Or like just the symbolism, or knowing how God, the universe was like,
that it's not a coincidence, right? Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Your name is your name for a reason. What?
Wow.
Okay. Anyways, so then going back to about how I was like processing why you called me and I was pissed off. Remember that part? Remember that conversation? So journaling, being like, oh, I was triggered by her telling me do this and not asking.
Which you're so that's one of your biggest pet peeves.
It really is.
That I cannot be like, do it.
Yeah.
That I always have to ask. And I'm really good, but I was just annoyed.
Yeah. And I think it's very important to me, because I never had agency before. I never had like a sense of self. And then I went into a relationship where then it was like for real.
The
like, oh, you didn't think you had
one.
it then? You don't have shit now. And then to coming into this space, like trying to figure out who I am, and then also being a daughter and also being an adult, it's like, how do I navigate this, you know? So there's a lot that goes into my agency. So it's a big thing for me. But anyways, I recognized the trigger and then I calmed down, and it wasn't as bad as it used to be. Because again, in those times I would go fucking crazy. In those times being literally maybe a year ago, even just either shutting down, going off, saying something snarky, blacking out, whatever it may be. But triggers, I like a year ago, I remember if you would trigger me or my dad or something, it would always be like, you triggered me, stop talking. You triggered me, leave me alone, or something like that. But it was never meant to be.
You would never take it like, oh my God, why am I triggered?
Yeah. What is going on within me? It was always like, it's you.
Yeah.
And then going back to what we were talking about last week with Dora, of the whole, you triggered me, so I'm gonna cut you the fuck off.
Yeah. So we were having that conversation with my sister, who that's our coping thing, that people piss us off and we totally completely cut them off, you know. And I think you would do that too. And so it's just crazy to see that it's like runs in the family. It's our trauma, right? That we do that.
Yeah. Well, it's because it's just easier to be like,
not deal with it,
not deal
process.
with it. Compartmentalize that trauma.
Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. Damn.
But yeah, going back to triggers really have nothing to do with the other person, because they're like, what the fuck did I say? I was chilling.
Right. So it was so funny because I was super triggered last week, and it was so crazy because then I had my yo tengo mi shaman que me protege del mal. I don't sing it right, but he called and he's like this and this and this, and I was like, oh. I saw my grandpa came down, sent me some messages, basically saying, this is your shit. It's not theirs. And I was completely...
The fuck? Hold on, what are you talking about?
I didn't tell you this?
No.
I told you this.
That they said it was your shit? So then when you came and you waddled your ass into my little room,
wait,
and you said,
Nayeli,
can you tell me what's going on? And then when they came down and bitched your ass out, it wasn't it was because you had already...
Well, see, and then even... Okay.
Oh my God.
I know. See, guys, we always have to work. So, okay, so then, I didn't ask. He had actually gone in to ask about other things, and my grandpa came down, chewed my ass out. And I was like,
okay, I think you did tell me, but you like conveniently...
Did I conveniently leave that out?
That they were like, you had to work on your
It's because I think we didn't finish talking about it. Because
why?
So much stuff happened. We didn't finish talking. And I just got my sticky notes where the notes are on there, so I can... Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So then we were busy. I went to visit my sister. All this stuff happened. So then on Monday, Nayeli was on live. And then I went after the live. I was like, hey, so this and this happened.
Remember how I tell you guys that she was like,
hey, can I ask you a question? And then it is yes. And it was a hard, after this hard live, it was a live where it was just like, God damn, one thing after another. It was like
heavy.
The muertitos were just coming down and bitching at everybody. Yeah. So I should have already known. Oh my God, I shouldn't have asked. I asked and they came down and they're like, really? Stop asking? Did they say stop asking? You already know?
I don't remember. I just remember being like, I can't stop it. Like, they were pissed.
They like, you already know. This is your shit. You need to stop pointing the finger. Blah, 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 blah. And then it was boom. And then Nayeli's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, no. It's okay. I'm going upstairs.
Literally, she was like, okay, bye. Thank you so much.
I know. I know.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So that going back to the triggers that I do good, but then I still sometimes I'm like, fuck. I was always all them. It's all them.
Yeah, it takes time.
And I realized, oops, it's not. It is not. Mm-mm. So like my toxic behaviors were not. I think it's just like because I was in such a codependent, narcissistic, whatever relationship, I didn't have that agency at home. But then at work, I was super toxic with work people, mm-hmm. right? Super. So again, super people pleaser, super. What would I do? I remember at one point, one of my coworkers said I was so toxic that she had diagnosed me.
For real?
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
And what'd she tell you?
Like, yeah, later we became friends, and after I did my work and stuff, and she said that she had diagnosed me as histrionic. It's called a histrionic something. That you just pretty much just talk. I don't know. I don't remember the details on it, but just a lot of people pleasing, shit talking, and constantly looking for validation. And I was like,
damn, the growth that you have endured.
I know.
The growth that you have endured.
I just processed, because that's what it is, basically, just process and feeling, and I just realized how angry I still was, and it's not that person's fault, right? It's not my triggers. They're not, it's not their fault that trigger me. It's my fault. So I was able to see this person with compassion, which is insane because I have been fighting with it for a couple weeks now, right? So it was really good. I was like, God damn, that's great.
It is. It is so
good. It's
good
great.
to reach that
and
point.
I think everything, it just works with it. Everything, it's like, so it's so much more than just with that trigger, right? For me, it all comes down to my mother wound, right? That I have to heal that I have to work that even though I feel like I've done so much work around it and I've healed it, it's still there. There's still more. There's still more that I have to process. There's still more that. And like I was telling my sister, she's like, when does this stop? I'm tired of processing. I was like, I don't know when it starts. I'm like, I'm still processing, and it's been years. And it's been years of work.
Yeah. Well, I think it's really interesting too, because then we go back to, this is something that was passed down to you. You know what I mean? Because the same way that you have your mother wounds, grandma has her parental wounds, whether it be both her mom and her dad. But then
her mom, the great grandmas have a mother wound, so it's like it
keeps going,
and you see it, right? And so what helps us is like we have Nayeli's able to see it, so she tells us, oh my God, this has been something handed down. It's our generational trauma.
Yeah.
Because I remember something, we're talking to Dora, to my sister, and we're telling her something. She's like, how do you know? I was like, because we know. And she's like, that can't be true. I'm
no,
like,
oh yes. Okay, so we
know.
we were talking about like some trauma, or like why people refuse to be upfront. And then she's like, well, those are assumptions. And then we were like,
we both looked at her.
I was just like, no, I didn't say anything, whatever. You were the one that was like,
no, they're not assumptions. They're not.
Yeah, anyways, which too, it's like really different. And then we go back to what we were saying. It's like when you hear these things from spirits that have been demonized and weaponized your entire life, it's like, and then they're telling you something that's completely feels like out of the blue. You're like, well, is it real? Do I believe that? And then you like just continue. You decide, am I going to gaslight myself the way that I've been doing for years?
Right. Yes.
Or am I going to trust? How does it feel in my body?
Right. So then my first reaction to all of it's like, no. But then it's like, God, you have to. I'm like, damn.
Because it's easy to say no.
It's so much easier.
Especially for compartmentalizers. For saying
well, I remember the first message that my abuelito sent me the first time. They had to give it to me so softly, and I still didn't even understand it. I still didn't even understand it. They were just like, stop being a sponge, and you can't be a sponge and absorbing and all this stuff. And I was like, oh my God, it's all the people from work, or it's all. So I took nothing.
Oh my God. We have done so good, because now they come down and they yell at us.
Right?
Because we get it.
Right. No, and we have been doing so good, because like my grandpa's like, he's always just like, they've been through so much, but they're doing good. Right? So now it's more like, yeah, you're doing good, but focus.
You're like, when we fuck up, it's like a fuck up. Because then it's like, So something that I was thinking about was, remember how we did in the Choose Wisely podcast, we talk about how there's this specific person that is not, I guess you could argue, because I don't know, we could argue that they are not doing their work, or they are not practicing what they preach, because of the chaos that is surrounding them. I don't engage.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's my whole thing too. It's like, I don't want to touch someone's energy.
Right. The reason, I think, without even engaging, you see it, right? You see it. Okay. You see in the way they act. You see in the way they portray things, and in the way they work. So it's not that, you don't have to make assumptions. We just see it.
Okay. It's like their aura or whatever.
There's an aura, the feeling, and for me, the feeling is run, don't walk, away. right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because we don't want to make assumptions.
Right, for sure.
And then we don't want to read, right? We don't
Right.
want to go into people's energies, like you said.
Right.
But
so then,
on that note, you feel it.
But the whole rhetorics too. I mean, you can go listen to that podcast and what we say. But there's this moment where you say, "Well, it's because these are the pointers. Their car is always fucking wrecked or stolen or all of these other things." And then remember, and also I believe in that same one. I was like, yeah, when I was not living in my truth, the ancestors would always have my car break down. And that was also just in alignment with like being in a toxic relationship, because that's how I wasn't living in my truth. And so then we go back to why we couldn't finish a story about like why you couldn't why when you were telling me about your reading and before, it was because the car broke down. And then my car broke down. So the car you were driving broke down. My car broke down. The Trailblazer broke down. And your car, the other car, needed tires.
The good car needed
all of the cars.
But the good car needed tires, and there was like a stray bullet that hit my car. And so I wasn't even worried about the bullet. I wasn't even worried about the car. It just goes into my safety issues, right?
Oh, okay.
But I was like, oh my God.
That's why I was like, Mom, are you okay? Because I knew this would affect you. And then you're like, oh no, I'm good. We're so chill.
But it's because you were worried about the car. I wasn't even worried about the car. I thought
I guess
I thought you were worried. Because you were like, are you okay? But I thought because you were talking about the car. Because you were worried about the car.
But you have this attachment with the car that I was like, oh my God.
That's okay. So when you were saying about the car, it's fine. I don't care about the car. Like, I really don't. It works. It's fine. Nothing happened. Didn't hit anything. Maybe it hit the front light and that's why it went out.
Okay.
Maybe. But everything's fine with it, right? It was just, there's a big hole in it.
Like a quarter.
And the safety. I was like, oh my God, what if there's a bullet through my house? So then I just walked around the perimeter and the garage is fine. Everything's fine. I was like, who's coming out to grab me? And then it didn't help that my ex is like, oh, well, I don't know what ex is after you. And I'm like, shut up. So I was getting all triggered. And I was like, oh my God. But no, I'm fine.
Okay, so now we go back to what I was trying to bring up, the idea of why do you think this shit is happening? Then we go back to what we were saying in the other one of
we were triggered.
Are we not practicing what we are preaching?
So we were triggered and we weren't. I was being bad.
You were?
Because of my triggers, and I was blaming everybody but myself, and it goes back to my mother wound. Because then I was like, I don't want to visit her. I don't want to talk to her. I don't want to. So I was getting mad again because of all this shit that's going on. And I was just getting mad. And I was going back into my same cycle where I blame her for everything. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And it's like, God, it's not even her fault. It's just.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then me too. Not necessarily my mother wound, but the wound of like not feeling like I'm able or worthy enough or capable enough or powerful enough to step into the identity that I know, like my higher self.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Your work stuff.
My work stuff.
That
Everything
all
with my
comes
work
down to
stuff.
that it's like you and I. Oh my God! It's so funny that the other day I was like, Nayeli, you are worth it.
Yeah.
You are.
Well, after 100%.
That I was like, you are.
But after my car broke down, because it broke down bad.
It broke down bad. I was in my class
for the second time.
And her and her dad had spent all day fixing it. It didn't work. I had a class. She had a place to go. Her little sister ended up having to go save her after she got stuck in like the worst freaking neighborhood.
No, it was actually, I felt like it was very safe compared to the other place. So I was in the highway. My car was heating up. I had to pull over and
That's the worst neighborhood.
Super sketchy. And then some man was just like watching me. And then there was two men in cars on both sides of me. I was like so fucking scared. Anyways.
And then she was driving her overheated car until it died.
Yeah. And then I was like, I had to get out of there because I look too good today. So I had to haul ass home. And I was like, I can't stop. And then on I-70, when you were like, yeah, that's known for trafficking.
Oh.
Thank God I fucking stopped there. Thank
That's
fucking
true.
God. Imagínate.
Yeah, but they're not going to take you. Why? Because you have tattoos, you're older. They like the younger ones because they can mold it,
Okay.
They can brainwash them. With tattoos, you can identify somebody, so you're not a good candidate for trafficking. So get tattoos.
Let's go get a tattoo ASAP.
now
Yeah.
I'm young.
Shut up,
Oh God, go get a tattoo. Just kidding. But you have piercings, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But
Damn,
anyways,
that's crazy.
yeah. And after that, we got here and we talked about it because they were bitching me out the whole way there.
Wait, it was so funny because then I asked her.
Ask
and
me
then-
what?
My home was silent.
So then I was in class, and then I texted her what happened. She's like, my car broke down. Aurora came to pick me up. Blah blah blah. Okay.
Super chill.
Super chill. And then she's like, and then you were like, help me after. I was like, okay, I'll text you when I'm done. So then I made it through ceremony. We had class and we had ceremony, and then right out, I ran out like a crazy woman. But I was able to sit in class.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I would have ran out. I would have ran out to go save you. Ran out. So I was really good at me too.
And I would have asked you to come.
You would have
save
asked me. So then you saved her, but then the whole ride home was silent.
Yeah, like she was just in the back. Sophia was
Head
like,
hanging
and I
low.
was just like,
And so they bitched at you the whole way here.
The whole way here, I think they were allowing me to process what was going on when I was driving with you. But then when we went to go pick up the car, that's when they were bitching me out.
So can I share the conversation?
With that you had with them?
No, that I had with you.
When?
The conversation on our way there. So we were driving,
Oh, okay, sure.
and we were driving.
Oh no! No! Yeah, you can.
We were driving at 10 o'clock. It was 10 o'clock at night. I was like, hey, I'm coming. Okay, let's go. Let's go. We went. It's close. We went to go pick up the car. She's like, well, why don't you...
It's 6:10, by the way.
Okay, 5 minutes. Why don't... She's like, well, why don't you just buy Aurora a car and give me this one? And I was like, why don't you just get it? Why don't
You
you
didn't
just...
say anything.
No. And I just said quiet.
You just
so
laughed.
quiet. I was
And
like,
then I
"Oh."
laughed.
And I was like, okay. And I didn't say anything?
No.
But then later I said, why don't you just get your own car?
Or did you say something?
Because then I was like, why don't you just get your own car?
And then I didn't say anything.
And then
I know.
I'll get Aurora, and then Aurora will have this one, and blah blah blah. Okay, end of story. Then I was driving home because then I was like, oh, because then I told her, well, or you know what? Maybe I can use this money, and I can help you get it, and I can get you one, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And that's what I said.
And I didn't answer.
No. And so on the way home, they bitched me out. Really? You're gonna go, man?
No, you didn't tell me that. You
Yeah.
did tell me that?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Because then I felt bad. I was like, well, maybe we can use my money, and then we can do some, you know.
Okay, I don't remember that. Okay, continue. Yeah, but I don't remember if you told me that or you said I was gonna tell you that.
I don't remember.
the next day, I was gonna.
No, it was right here.
Oh, okay. But then they shut me up. So they
So
shut
you
me
didn't
up.
really say
Okay, so
anything.
they shut me up. So what happens with me is my
Okay, so they shut me
my
up.
muertito shut me up and I can't say it. And then we got home and she's like, yeah, go ahead.
And then I was like, yeah, they bitched me out. Like they told you to not say anything, and they bitched me out the whole way there. So I was like, just talking to myself the whole ride to the house, and it was just like, you need to put you ask for these things, you have these visions, you have these ideas, you have this platform, but then you don't make room, like you don't put in the work.
Right.
You
right.
don't. You just sit
She
there and
undervalues
wait for it.
herself. She doesn't. She feels that. This is something I was bitching about her. I was like, really? How do you expect people to get readings from you and look for you when you don't even market yourself? You don't sell
And that
yourself.
was another conversation. We've had so many conversations like this.
I was like, you are so valuable. You are so worth it. Your readings are amazing. Your healing sessions are amazing. How do you expect
They are.
people
They
to just
really are,
flow
though.
to you if you don't? If they've already given you the tools to bring the people, it's like
don't be ashamed to call them.
Yes, and
Or to make room for them.
right. So it's like you can have your new car, but you just don't want it.
Dead ass. And then I was like, okay, me voy a poner las pilas. I'm gonna put the batteries on, and I'm gonna get my shit together. Like, let's fucking get it. you
Right,
know?
right.
So I did. We identified it.
Good.
But I thought it was really interesting because I was listening to the podcast, the Choose Wisely, not for fun, okay, but like to edit. And I was like, damn, everything we talked about happened to us.
Crazy? Isn't that crazy?
But we had to keep it real.
Right.
you
But
know
my
what
car
I
has
mean?
like badass tires now. So badass. I look like a
This
little.
bitch is
It's
like,
a
yeah,
mama
but
look.
now we back and we better. We better.
Just wait till I go fix that bullet hole.
We're gonna.
Filed the police report. Filed my claim, and I'm gonna fix all my little scratches all over the damn car because when I was in Egypt, somebody scratched my whole
Fucked up the whole goddamn.
I don't
car,
know
bro.
who it was, Aurora, but somebody did. I don't know.
Yeah.
I swear I did. I swear to God.
You swear.
But anyway,
But
we're
yeah.
good.
Yeah. Cool.
So you know what, guys? We practice what we preach. Yes,
We try our best. And we're also in the same shit, you guys.
Right, and we are vulnerable
We
enough
are
to
the
share our
same.
mistakes and our fuck ups and our.
Which is really hard.
But you know what's so crazy? I didn't realize how bad I was fucking up until, oh my god. Yeah. I thought I was fine.
Yeah, me too.
Until the abuelitos and everybody.
Until my car broke down, and then I was like, damn.
And it broke down again.
What
and it
is
broke
going
down.
on?
Oh,
What is happening?
oh my gosh. Yeah, so that's our car breakdown too.
Which was really good too because we healed a lot of the trauma
A lot.
involved with, because we have hardcore car
A
trauma.
lot. Oh my god, and then we didn't even talk about, so then I was driving another car that Aurora was using, and that was already the car that was being driven because her car was broken. And I was coming home late, got a flat tire. Nayeli went to save me. Didn't work. Car fell off the
Did
jack.
not save her.
We had some man come help us. And it was like people that I would never expect to help me, right?
Well, you just don't allow people to help you.
I don't allow anybody to help me.
And then it was men.
Yeah.
So then we were both like,
What the hell?
But
But
they
they
were
were
very
amazing.
nice.
They were great. One of the guys.
And it was snowing.
And then I only had a little jacket, and Nayeli gave me her jacket. Oh, it was a shit show.
It was a shit show for like 2
But
hours.
then finally, this fucking little white dude, country boy, that other guy was saying it was a country boy, came and saved us.
Country boy.
Brought this big old jack
I
from
love
home. So saved us. Saved us.
She's still going. Yeah, saved us.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you, people. Thank
If
you.
my mom did not, because she blew through it really fast, but we set up the car, we lifted the car, we took off the tire, we went to the back to get the spare was stuck to the trunk. So when we pulled it, we're so strong that we
so
moved
strong.
the whole car,
And it
and
fell.
the car fell off the jack.
And then my car was in front. I was like, my car.
Mom was worried about the car. I was just like, what happened? What the fuck just happened? After, like, I was still so flabbergasted. I did not understand how that happened. And then I was
Right.
like, oh, it's because
Yeah. So that happened.
these guns.
So that happened last week, and it was one thing after another, and now we both get it, and we both see the light.
yeah, that
And we're good. We're good, guys. We're good.
For now.
We're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, abuelitos. No, I'm telling the abuelitos, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we're good.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Oh,
Me.
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, we're
Ashe.
spiraling. So
We are. Okay.
thank you so much for listening. This one felt a little hectic. I don't know.
It
but it
did.
felt like the energy was very...
It's
It's your energy drink!
I told you when I started. We started anything.
I just didn't think that it was like...
Oh.
I thought I was like... What the fuck?
We'll listen to it, and if
anyways.
it sounds too bad, we can
No,
record.
it's fine.
Oh,
Okay.
good. It was funny.
Okay.
All right. Love you
So
guys
thank
so
you,
much.
everyone. Have a great day, great night,
Missed
great
you
weekend, great
so
week,
much.
whatever. Okay. Vaya con Dios.
This bitch is talking about like 10 different things. No more energy drinks. Goodbye!